And we are live. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Real Talk with ReZsaun. I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind today, but it's always something interesting. This is always an interesting thing for me when these days come up and I'm trying to get started. And I sat here literally the entire day just trying to make sure I had everything in place. And what's up, man? What's up, Nick? Kenyon, I always mess up your name. What's up, Kenyon, man? I appreciate you watching, bro. I was trying to get started at 7 o'clock, and then the computer literally shut down at 6:58. So I had to reboot and restart. I'm really excited about this week because I don't know if you saw the previews, but I got some new toys. I got this equipment. I got this light equipment. Let me show you so you can see all the way for some more people. You can see I got this light here. I got a light here. I got a light here. And I have a light above me, too. So that's pretty cool. I got some more stuff coming in as well. I got a new webcam that I'm using for the first time for the show. So I'm really excited about that. Just trying to take it to the next level, man. Just continuously trying to improve and grow, and that's always, important to me in this process. And with anything I do is to always get better at it and to make sure I'm giving a quality product. Babe, can you give me a water, please? So let me share this out with the people who are not here yet. Let me go ahead and put this over here so I can see it, so I can see you guys. I got the multi-screen thing going. So if you could please share. If you can, I greatly appreciate it. I'm also gonna share it on my phone so we can get people in the yank dock, as they say. All right, please come in, please. I'm gonna take a couple minutes just to let people get in because I know some people were probably trying to get in and weren't able to. Thank you, babe. All right, we are live. What's on the menu for this evening? What's up, Miss Serena? What's on the menu for this evening? Great that you would ask that, man. Great that you would ask that. We're actually going to talk about quite a few things. We got the thing with the Texans owner, Bob McNair, made some comments that is making some waves. And also, we have some stuff going on up at the White House. And we have some entertainment news as well. So we're going to go into all of that. Like I said, I'm going to give people a couple minutes to get in. And I'm going to get started. But thank you again. Hey, Miss Serena, I see you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you could tag a friend, tag 1 or 2 people to come in, share the video, I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to having a great discussion tonight. I have the comments section over here. So if you see me look over here, I'm looking for the comments, and I have my script right here. So what up, Brooke? What's up, B? What's up, man? Ty is in the building. First Baptist Daddy. Garrett Dad is in the house. Hey, what you think with those Cougars? I heard North Charleston played Garrett this week. You know what time it is? The Unity game. What's that? And don't leave because I said that, man. Please don't leave. My Niners lost, so whatever. It's been a great week. Like I told you guys, I'm gonna show you again because I'm really excited about the fact that I have this stuff. I'm really excited about this. Let me show you guys my new setup. So I got lighting equipment. I got a new webcam, so I'm excited about that. So if you see me like not looking at the camera, it's because I'm still not used to not having to look at my phone. Up until this day, I pretty much doing everything on my phone. So anytime you do something, you want to do it in excellence. So I'm trying to make some steps, spend a little bit of money to make the set better and to make the show better. So I'm working on a few things, and if you see something I can improve on, please let me know. I'm always willing to take some constructive criticism to make myself better and to make the show better. Because if you as the viewer, you have to enjoy the show. If you don't enjoy the show, then what I'm doing is really pointless, to be honest with you. So if you have anything to share with me, please do. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, world. Welcome to Real Talk with ReZsaun, where nothing's off limits. I am your host, ReZsaun Lewis. Here on Real Talk, everything is debatable. So on any given day, we could be discussing anything from music to sports to politics. You name it, we'll discuss it. All right, so I'm going to get started off where I said I'm going to get started off with. What's up, Vera? How you doing? We're going to get started off where I said we're going to get started off at with Bob McNair. All right, the Houston Texans owner. If you don't know, the Houston Texans owner Bob McNair made a statement last week about if you don't know, there's been protests going on. I've covered it pretty extensively here on the show. What's up, Crystal and Mr. Jerome? About the protests that have been going on. So as a result of the protests, the players have started meeting with the owner and started doing like meetings with the owners. Let me zoom back in. This is a little out there. All right, there we go. The players has started doing some meetings with the owners and just to try to begin a dialogue between the players and the owner to figure out what the players actually want, so that they can so that the players can stop protesting during the national anthem, which is ultimately what the owners want, is for the players to stop protesting. Well, during this time, one of the owners, Bob McNair, the owner of the Houston Texans, made a statement that said, we can't have the prisoners running the, what did he say? The prisoners running, wow, now I can't remember the statement. Gosh, not the asylum. The inmates running the prison. That's what it was. I'm sorry. He can't have the inmates running the prison. And of course, you know, the adage is you can't have the inmates running the asylum. It was a bad statement just to make, considering what the discussion was around. You can't have inmates running the prison. So essentially, if you look at what he said, what he's saying is that you cannot have inmates, the players, running the prison. That the visuals of that statement are so bad, are so tone deaf that it's really troublesome that he felt comfortable enough to make that statement, rather it be in front of the players or in a private room. Making that statement is truly insensitive. But this is what I want to follow it up with. Immediately after making that statement, he realized that he was he spoke out of turn, and he did apologize. He apologized, saying that he didn't think that the statement correctly identified what he was trying to say or make his point. So he apologized, and that brings me to a pretty interesting place as it pertains to these discussions that we're continuing to have about race. As it pertains to race, sexism, and all these things that we're relating to. We talked about it with the Cam Newton situation. We talk about it with President Trump all the time. People that say things and are not willing to be man enough to stand up and say, you know what I said was wrong. What I did was wrong. And he said that. So with that, I am definitely one who's not going to, hold it against him forever, because he did apologize. But you have to realize what people's heads are. People say what's on their heart. I don't believe that people say things that they don't mean. That's why I'm very, very calculated with the things that I say, because I never want to have to apologize for something I say. Anything I say on this show, I mean. And trust me, I've thought it through, and I've given it serious thought and serious forethought, and the effects or the ramifications that come with it. And am I willing to deal with the ramifications of what I say? Inmates running the prison, as it pertains to a league that's at least 75% African American, is a problem. But he did apologize. Now the question is, are we going to allow his apology to stand? What's up, Kim? What's up, Shalay? How you doing? What's up, Sam? Sam, what you doing? Are we going to allow his apology to stand and to move on from that situation? Or are we going to try to hold him to task? Are we going to hold him to task for the things that he said? Because if we are, then we have to hold everybody completely to task for everything that they say. Now, I'm a big believer that if somebody apologizes and they do it wholeheartedly and they do it from a place of genuineness, and it's the same point I made with Cam Newton. If you look back at my show a couple of weeks ago, I made the same points. If somebody apologizes genuinely and wholeheartedly, I definitely think that you should accept their apology and move on with your life. I do, if they do it wholeheartedly and genuinely. Now, it's up to you to completely decide if you're going to forgive him or whatever, or if it's up to you to forgive him, because ultimately he made a decision that's bad for his business. I mean, for me, Real talk with ReZsaun is going to happen whether or not Bob McNair makes statements. But when you are an employer of that many African American males and females, you can't make statements like that. You can't make culturally insensitive statements like that. And I use this example all the time. I work with teachers. I'm a teacher, right? I work in a female-dominated career, job field, if you will. My principal's a female. Most of the teachers are female. I'm the only male certified teacher. Our PE teachers, are also males. But that's it. We have another guy in the building who's a psychiatrist and works with the kids. He's a male. Other than that, it's all females. So for me to make a statement about females that is derogatory would completely reflect badly on me. We know we have women, like so many women who walk around and are disrespected at their jobs by men, and men just say, oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, that's not okay. It's not okay to offend people. Now, I know a lot of people say that we're living in a society right now where everybody gets offended by everything, so you never know what to say. Yes. You do need to know what to say. You do need to manage your words. You do need to think before you speak and act. That should be something that we should do. That should not be something extra that goes on top. Hey, Tyler, what's up? Best lawyer in town. Holler at her. We should do that. We should genuinely, like literally, there was a time where, and people reflect on this all the time, there was a time where we could say whatever we want to say and not have to worry about it. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that I can disrespect a woman and not have to worry about the fact that I disrespected her. It's not okay that I can disrespect a person that doesn't look like me because I feel like I want to respect them. What's up, Mom? I should not be able to do that. I should have to think before I speak. I should have to think before I act. And if I'm not doing that, then I should be called on the carpet for it every single time. Rather you be a politician, rather you be a owner of a business, rather you be a person that works as a janitor. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you work at Burger King, McDonald's. I don't care if you work at Zaxby's. I don't care if you work at Target. I don't care if you work at the movie theater. You should be held accountable for the words that you say, because what you say is what you mean. What you say is what you mean. Rather you meant for it to be offensive or not, doesn't matter. If I do something to somebody and they take offense at it, I can't get mad at the fact that they took offense to it. I have to govern myself, because as I tell my students all the time, the one thing that I can manage, I can't manage how you feel. I can't manage how this person feels over here. But what I can control and what I can manage is what I say and what I do. What I say and what I do. So that's my take on that. All right. And the man came out. He apologized. Am I going to hold it against him forever? No, but I know what time it is. I definitely know what time it is. And apparently his players know what time it is. Before the game, apparently a large segment, I think almost all of the players kneeled during the national anthem. So here we are again with the kneeling during the national anthem. Like it's a circle. It's a circle. Meanwhile, pivot, in Shelbyville, there was a group of white supremacists today. They call themselves White Lives Matter. And they had a chant. And it stuck with me. And I wanted to share it with you guys because it stuck with me. And I don't want to misquote it. But they said, where is it? Oh, I can't find it now. But the quote said, white borders, or closed borders, white nation, now we begin the deportation. Closed borders, white nation, now we begin the deportation. Like, what kind of quote? All right, if we're talking free speech, then how is it that we as a nation have a problem with black players kneeling to protest minorities being killed by the people paid to protect them, but we do not, our president does not have a problem with self-proclaimed, not something we're not putting this on them. They claim to be white nationalists, walking through the streets of our country, saying something as blatantly derogatory as closed borders, white nation. Now we begin the deportation. Now we can say, oh, well, that's just a few people, and that doesn't represent the whole. But I'm going to explain this to you. Silence. Silence when we are seeing things like this happening in our country cannot be accepted. It cannot be accepted because silence often shows not just apathy towards the situation, which is dire, right? There was a time, again, where these people could do this. There was a time where, for doing it, something like this, somebody can walk into my house and lynch me. Like this can't be what we're doing, guys. This cannot be what we're allowing to happen. The thing that we cannot get upset, like literally, if we want to get upset about this flag, I would respect you getting upset about this flag a whole lot more if you was upset about what this flag actually is supposed to represent. And the people who are carrying our flag and saying things like closed borders, white nation, now we begin our deportation. I'm not even Hispanic. They're not deporting me. But that offends me. Because that offends the ideals that I fought for when I was a soldier in the United States Army as a veteran. This is why I don't have a problem with people kneeling during the national anthem. I don't. As a veteran. I don't, because as long as our president has a bigger problem with people kneeling during the national anthem out of respect, but he doesn't have a problem with people denigrating a large segment of the American population, that's a problem, man. That's a problem. How you doing, Miss Sue? What's up, Leandris? I'll see Leandris in a minute. What's happening, B? Hey, Tisa, how you doing? Serena, it's very difficult to edit a verbal conversation. That's why you have to think, and then speak. I agree, Miss Serena. Absolutely. If you have not checked out Miss Serena's blog, you got to check it out. It's really, really great. She makes such great comments. And I'm actually, one of the topics that I'm using today is actually one that she prompted me on. So I want to make sure I give her a shout outs for that. Hello, Miss Sue. Hello, Miss Sue. But yeah, man, that's where we're at there, guys. We cannot be apathetic towards the things that's going on in this country. And we also can't pick and choose when to be offended and when to be upset. I'm just as offended when that player on the Astros made the disrespectful thing towards towards Yu Darvish during the World Series. If you didn't see that, during the World Series, there's a player for the Astros. He's a Hispanic player, and after he made a big play against Yu Darvish, he went and he did this with his eyes. Yu Darvish is Asian. I think he's Japanese. That's disrespectful. That's not okay. But you know what? 50, 60, 70 years ago, that was okay. Is that the America that we want to go back to? Is that when America was great again? When you could disrespect somebody based on their race, based on their color, based on their religion, based on their ethnicity, based on their sex, based on their sexual orientation, and it'd be okay? Is that what we want to go back to? Is that what it is? It can't be. That can't be it. That to me is not great America. That to me is not the America that I fought for. So before you go and say, well, what about the soldiers? I was a soldier. I'm a veteran. And I'm standing on the platform of somebody who knows the sacrifices that were made for me and for people who look like me, by people not only in the civil rights movement, by soldiers who fought in the Vietnam War, the Korea War, World War I, World War II, the Iraqi War, Operation Desert Storm, Operation Desert Shield. All right, the Afghanistan operation, which I can't remember now for some reason, which is weird because I was actually in it. But you try to block things out, I guess. But these people fought for us. They fought for us to have these rights. They fought for us to be able to have the right to disagree with our president. They fought for that. That's what they fought for. They didn't fight so that we can have authoritarianism pushed on us through propaganda. So yes, as people who, Operation Enduring Freedom, thank you, baby. As people who fought for this nation, we did not fight for a flag. Like I know that's something that is said, that has been said by a lot of people, but we didn't. Was there a flag there? Yep. There's a lot of things there. I agree, Sue, Ms. Miller. Thank you so much for saying that. We can agree to disagree, but we have to learn to agree to disagree respectfully. And the problem is, and this is a large portion of why I, up until this point, have not been able to open up the lines to to listeners yet, because I honestly fear what's going to happen. I fear what's going to happen. I fear have not yet found a way to have intellectual, intelligent discussions without tearing each other down. So even when I'm saying the things that I'm saying, I'm trying to use my words in a way that somebody who may not disagree with me, who may not agree with me, but at least will hear my heart in the situation and understand that there are so many different sides to this thing. There's so many different sides to this thing. No, we're not going to agree on everything. We're not. But we can agree, we can disagree respectfully, and we can engage uncomfortable discussions in respectful ways. And where the discussion is, what things do we agree on? What things do we agree on? Let's not talk about what we disagree about. Okay, cool. Let's not start there. Let's work our way there. But let's find the things that we agree on first. What do we agree on? Do we agree that what's going on isn't good in our country? Do we agree on that? Do we agree that white nationalism is a bad thing? Do we agree on that? What do we agree on? Where can we start the discussion where it will be substantive and where it will be something that will allow us to grow mentally, to grow spiritually, to grow emotionally, to grow as one in a nation? Where can we start that discussion? Where can we begin that discussion in a way that will allow us to not get into name calling? That's why I stopped watching the news. And that's why a lot of people stop watching the news. It's because we as a country right now have not found a way to have that discussion respectfully. It's become a lot of yelling and screaming and people calling other people names. And I don't want to call anybody names. I don't wish to call you. And if you are a Trump supporter and you're watching my show, trust me, my goal is not to denigrate you. My goal is not to put you down. My goal is not to make you feel less than. My goal is to encourage discussion. My goal is for, at some point, for you to inbox me and say, hey, I disagree with you. Let's sit down and talk about it. And I would gladly do it. I promise you I will. And I would encourage anybody who watches this show to do the same thing. We have to continually find ways to engage in respectful discussion, because that's the only way that change happens. It's the only way that change happens. And I don't want to stay there too long, but I hope my heart was felt. My heart was heard in that situation. While we're on that topic of what's going on in the White House, Special Investigator Robert Mueller has just announced that he has some oh, sorry, let me pause. Yes, there's a way to address people without attacking people. We do that through respect. Definitely, Miss Serena, definitely. So that's definitely something I wish to do, something I encourage everybody to do. If we could, I hope y'all enjoying the show so far. If you are, please share it. If you don't know, my name is ReZsaun Lewis. This is Real Talk with ReZsaun, and I'm the host of this show. I definitely enjoy having these discussions. Like I said, I'm going to transition over. What's wrong, Randy? My dog is over here. Come on. You can't be in the show, but all right. So I want to transition over to what's going on with Robert Mueller. He has he's a special investigation, and he's just announced that he's going to be putting out some indictments that are stemming from this Russian collusion investigation, which a lot of people attribute to President Trump and what's going on with President Trump. How you doing, Charlize? Hey, Mom, you coming in late, Mom? You just getting here? Hey, Vari, what's up, baby? Hey. So Robert Mueller, the special investigator who's assigned to the investigation of the Russian collusion with the 2016 investigation, which led the 2016 election, which led, of course, to President Trump being elected. Some people believe that there was some collusion with Russia based on some things that they've seen, or maybe based on a witch hunt, depending on who you ask. So apparently there are some indictments that have been approved, not only by Robert Mueller, but for those who don't know, Robert Mueller, as a special investigator, had to submit his findings and his orders for indictments to another panel who also has to approve it before he can make indictments. So it wasn't just him. This is not just one man on a crusade against President Trump. So they made some indictments, and those will be announced tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. Now, what does this mean? Now, this does not mean, one, we have no reason to believe that President Trump is being indicted. That's the first thing to understand, the first thing to know. So before we go around saying, oh, President Trump's getting indicted and that's going to lead to impeachment, let's not say that, because it's not true yet. Make sure we get all the information. Hey, Grandma, how you doing? So that's not something that's a surety. We do know that indictments are going to be made, and we also know that if you've watched any news over the last couple of days, there's been an attempt to once again deflect from the issue at hand, which is that situation, back to somebody who doesn't have any say in anything that's going on, Hillary Clinton, which is always funny to me. But so one, President Trump is not being indicted as far as we know right now. And because it's the first set of indictments, chances are it's not the highest level. If you know pretty much anything about the way investigations work, when it comes to something this large, it's usually the first set of indictments is usually not for the big fish. It's usually for a bunch of low-level fish. It's sort of like if you're considering like people trying to catch major drug dealers, they don't just go for the big drug dealer first. What they do is they find a bunch of lower-level drug dealers and try to get those lower-level drug dealers to rat on the bigger drug dealers, and then they rat on the bigger drug dealers until they finally get the big guy that they wanted. And I'd expect this to go sort of that kind of way. Now, will it happen? Who knows? Who knows if they will get anything? For all we know, just being honest and being completely fair to the process, there may be nothing there. There may be nothing there. Do I believe there's something there? I think this possible that something's there, but I don't know for sure, and I don't want to speculate any further than what the facts have shown up until this point, because once we start doing that, we get into a really slippery slope of things that are speculative. What we do know is that there is an indictment coming, and it's coming as early as tomorrow. So with that being said, we'll see how that goes. I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. We'll see. So just keep your eyes peeled. Of course, I'll post the articles that I see here in Real Talk, and feel free to engage the discussion there. Find out what's going on. The main thing is to be educated about what's going on. I can't tell you what Celeste. I don't see a Celeste. I'm sorry, Ma. If you see somebody in here that I don't know, of course I can't see everybody that's in here. So it shows me the number, but it doesn't show me everybody who's in here. So I can see, because I don't want, if you are in here watching and I can't see you, thank you so much for joining me. My name is ReZsaun Lewis. This is Real Talk with ReZsaun. But I can't see all the names. So as people, if you comment or something, I can see what you say. But if you don't comment, then I don't really know unless you're on my friendship list. But I just finished talking about the Robert Mueller investigation. If you are not following that, make sure, how you doing, Celeste? Make sure that you are keeping yourself educated on what's going on. Also, with that being said, today is October 29th, all right? On November 7th, there is an election. It's election day, guys. So let's make sure we're getting out there and voting, guys. Let's make sure that we're making our voice heard. A lot of the messes that's going on in our country, we have caused by our inactivity. All right, we have caused by our inactivity. And that's not just African Americans. That's Caucasians, that's Asians, that's Hispanics, all people. We gotta get out and make our voice heard. People fought and died so that you can have the right to vote. So that's my rock. rock the vote speech. I'm not going to stay there too long, but make sure on November 7th you get up there and vote. And I want to go ahead and say now that next week I'm actually going to have Marvin Pendarvis, who's actually running for the House of Representatives, District 113, on my show as a guest. So on Wednesday, we're going to do a special show, a special celebrity spotlight with Marvin Pendarvis, where he's going to come on and talk about, what got him here and what his plans are for if he gets elected to the seat. Moving forward, I hope y'all enjoying the show so far. If you have anything that you would like me to discuss that I'm not discussing, please make sure that you put it in the comment section so that I can respond to that or reflect on it. If you have something to add to the discussion, please say it. I'd love to read your comments aloud. Of course, most of you know that these videos I do upload to my YouTube channel as well. So I want to make sure that your voice is heard. And I would love to have a back and forth with the audience as this show continues to grow. I'm also looking at opportunities to grow the show in different ways. There's some different things that I'm working on. There's a website called Blogspot. Oh, word? Okay. I see you, Elvin. The Blog Talk Radio, which is a website that is going to allow me, I think, to have people call in and be voice audience members and actually be able to call in and make comments and stuff like that. Also, for those who don't know, who just joined us, I got some more equipment, so I'll back it up so you can see a little bit of the set. All right, so one, I have a new webcam. So right there, I have a new webcam. I have lights. I got some lights. Got a light set. And I have a mic set coming as well. So I'll have a microphone so the sound will be much better. If you see, I'm wearing headphones this week because I'm using a sound card so I can start doing some more different stuff with this. But I'm definitely glad to be growing the show in this way. So thank you guys again so much. And I'm doing this because I want this to be the best show for you guys. To be honest, to be completely honest, I want this to be the best show that it could possibly be. The best show they could possibly be. I'm going to transition to something that I actually posted about on my page yesterday. My mentoring program that I work with, the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club, we volunteered out at an event called the Dream Sparkle Shine Conference. And this was an event put on by Ms. Shakima Chapman. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. There were so many, I don't even know the official count of young ladies that was in there, but there were young ladies from probably age 2 to 90 there. And they had a great day of women's fellowship, womanhood, and my daughters and my wife came. And for me, it was amazing just to be able to watch it. I'm sorry, what? Zoom back in? Okay, cool. All right. Randy, is Randy trying to be in the show? Sorry, my wife, aka my director. Sorry, zoom back in. Had to tell me to zoom back in. But my wife and my kids were there, and it was amazing to see. And we brought our boys out there. Our boys just making sure that the day went well. So we were, picking up trash and moving stuff around. It was really great for my boys to see it because my boys were able to see these women together in fellowship just for something positive. They weren't there for twerk contest, or they weren't there they weren't there for, what's wrong, Randy? What you want? They weren't there for anything negative. It was all positive. It was all positive. So it was really amazing to enjoy it, to be there for that. And if you were not there this year, I would really suggest that you find out when the next one is. It's called the Dream Sparkle Shine Conference, and Ms. Shakima Chapman, who was a guest on my show about 4 weeks ago maybe, was she's the visionary behind it. So it was a really great event. I posted a video on my page from it of one of the speakers who was speaking. A great day of speakers, a great day of womanhood, and just talking about that. And anytime we have events like that, I know the Bow Affair just had their graduating class of this year. So shout out to the Bow Affair, shout out to the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club, shout out to I Am Foundation, shout out to anybody doing anything positive. But I'm gonna move forward with this show because this is what we're here for. Isis, you just hit the camera. Can you stop? All right. Sorry, guys. Distractions. Let me get my camera back straight. I apologize. All right. So yeah. So moving on. Moving on. The next topic I wanted to talk about was some lighter news. We talked about, you know, the heavy stuff. Some lighter news. So apparently Cardi B and Offset from Migos got engaged. Hooray, right? For them. Now, if you don't know, Cardi B is a young lady who's now on a Love and Hip Hop New York, I believe. She's on that show. And she started out as a stripper. Yeah, she started out as a stripper. And then she ended up on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, New York. And then she became a rapper. And then she put out a song called Bodak Yellow, which became the #1 song in the country. So that's a real rags to riches story. Now her boyfriend, or her fiance now, who's a rapper in the group Migos, who's mostly known for the song Bad and Bougie. I don't know why I'm talking about it like that. Bad and Bougie. They got engaged. And it was funny to me because I'm going to post a video so you guys can see it. Because throughout the video, it's like a bunch of auto-tune stuff in the background. So he's like, hey, girl, you going to marry me or nah? And then they're like, yeah, in the background. So it's kind of funny, like with the auto-tune in the background with the dude proposing. It was just the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like I was dying laughing. It was really hysterical. So shout out to them for getting engaged. I've seen people upset that she got engaged. Like, because you're a stripper, you're not allowed to get engaged? Like, nah. Like, people have past. You have a past. I have a past. So before we judge somebody and try to act like, oh, well, this person doesn't deserve love, everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves to be loved. And your past doesn't like negate you from being able to achieve love or a substantive relationship. Does it make it difficult? Sure. But there's a lot of things that can make a relationship difficult. But there's that we should not just be like looking down on people because we don't agree with their past, which is something that's a totally different topic for another day. But we gotta be more careful with that stuff. Okay. The last topic I wanted to talk about today was something that was brought to my attention by Miss Serena Chapman James, and she posted this article about Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson, if you don't know, is in a relationship, is married actually now to Ciara, the singer. And he's taken a real active role, I say it that way, in the life of his stepson, which if you know me and you know the way I grew up, and many of you don't, I don't believe in like step anything. My family's my family. My family's my family. I don't believe in half. I don't believe in step. I believe my family is my family. There are people that I call my brother that are legitimately my brothers and my sisters who have no blood relation to me. So when a child comes into my life, that child is my child. Now, regardless of what the relationship is with the father, I'm going to treat that child like my child. And let me go ahead and let me share that. I'm sorry. Let me make sure that people know that we are broaching this discussion because there may be people who are interested in this kind of thing. I don't know. Back up to the top. Sorry. Share. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are dope. Y'all are really dope. Is Russell Wilson corny? Because that's what it came down to. They're saying that Russell Wilson is a corny dude for the way he's treating Ciara and Future's son. Now, the problem comes in like this. The problem comes in here. There are a lot of people who hop in their feelings for these rappers or for these people that they don't know. Because we don't know these people, right? Right? I don't know Russell Wilson. I don't know Future. I don't know Ciara. I don't know none of them. What I do know is walking into a child's life who already has a father. And I know that my mother, hey mom, I know you're on the show, my mom married a man. and I had a dad. And when that man came into my life, he was like a father to me. He is still like a father to me to this day. He never referred to me as his stepson. When he referred to me as his son. Even after him and my mom got divorced, to this day, he still refers to me as his son. And I appreciated that. I appreciated the fact that he never made me feel less than by referring to me as his stepson. For those who also don't know, I have a daughter. All right, my oldest daughter is not my biological daughter. I have never ever referred to her as my stepdaughter. At all. At all. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. And I think that when we do that, it's a way of appeasing people who may not necessarily need appeasement. Because if a child, if let's say, you know, Vari and Tasha are my children from my previous marriage. If their mother marries a man and that man looks at them as their children, as I want, first of all, I want him to look at my children as his kids. Because if he looks at my children as his kids, he's going to treat them better. That's a good thing for the child. Okay? The ultimate goal when you have children should be for that child to feel as though they are loved. And if you're walking around saying, oh, this is my stepchild, this ain't my real kid. You know, these are my real kids over here, and here's my stepchild. Is that the message we should be sending to these kids? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, is Russell Wilson a corny dude? I think Russell Wilson is a corny dude. I just think he's a corny dude. But I don't think he's corny because of that. I thought Russell Wilson was corny when he got drafted. I thought Russell Wilson was corny when he got on draft day, when his then wife was in the camera with her face this wide. I thought Russell Wilson was corny when he wanted to lock arms when the other people were protesting by kneeling. I thought Russell Wilson was corny when he had a jerry curl. All these are reasons that Russell Wilson is corny. None of it has to do with the way he treats a child that he did not biologically father. And if that's your problem with Russell Wilson, is the fact that he loves a child that he is not the biological father of, what is your problem? What's your problem? Did nobody hug you? Think about it. Think about it. As a father who has children from a previous marriage, if my ex-wife was to marry someone else and that person look at my children as their own, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, y'all. That's not a bad thing. And as long as if that's how we're going to look at things, then yeah, we're going to be where we are for a long time. We are going to be where we are as a society for a long time, because it takes a village. We've said this a million times on this show. It takes a village to raise a child. And in my village, I need all my villagers on the same page. So if you're in a house with my kids, then you need to love my kids. If you can't love my kids, don't be in a house with my kids. Flat out. That'll be my only problem that I could ever have with somebody that is chosen to be around my children, is that that person does not genuinely love and care about my children. You know, there's so many reasons to not like Russell Wilson. He plays for the Seahawks for one. If y'all don't know, I'm a Niners fan. And we suck. So don't even, before you even do it, I know we're terrible. Don't do that. But there's so many reasons to not like Russell Wilson. That is not one of them. For me, everything that I had to say negative about Russell Wilson actually went away when I found out about the way he treats another man's child. If that's how we're going to look at it, it's another man's child. If that's how we're putting it out there, then I have absolutely no issue with the way he treats that man's child. And for Future to have problems with that is a problem to me as a man. As a man. So you may be a Future fan, you may disagree with me. Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's meet at Starbucks and talk about how you want the man who's in your child's life to treat your child. Because I'm pretty sure Ciara has custody, which means that Russell Wilson is actually with Future's child more than Future. So should he not love the child that he sees more than his father? I think he should. Should he talk bad about his father? No. Should he put his father down? No. And that's not something that should ever ever happen. Is putting down, you know, a parent. That should never happen, because kids, you know, kids are kids, and they don't get to choose that kind of thing. You know, they don't get to choose. You know, that they don't get to choose that. So let the child decide. You know, who their parent is. Your job is to love that child. Your job is to love that child and give that child all the things that they need to be successful. And if you can't do that, then don't be around the child. It's really that simple. All right. Yeah. That's what I got tonight. Shout out to everybody who watched the show tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope tonight was a good show for you guys. I hope y'all like the new setup. Again, I gotta show y'all one more time, because you know everybody hasn't seen the new set yet. I got some lighting now. I got lighting, so I'm brighter. So you know the coloring is a lot better now. Mr. Mayor Johnson, is Mayor Johnson in here? If Mayor Johnson's watching, this is so dope. I thank you so much for watching, Mayor Johnson. If you in here, I see you liked it. So I don't know if you in here, you just liked it and you went away. But if you're in here, thank you so much for watching. You are such a great person. I'm a big fan. I'm voting for you. I don't care what nobody says. You should vote for him too. He's a great guy. But what was that? Yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. I hope that I was able to touch some chords with some people. I hope I was able to make you at least think, if I didn't change your mind about anything. If you think there's something I'm dead wrong about, let me know. Hey, ReZsaun, you're dead wrong about this. And we can talk about it. We can talk about it online. We can meet up and have an online debate about it. Or we can discuss it over the internet, which I really don't like doing, because a lot of times interpretation can be lost as it pertains to online discussions. But maybe you could call in and we could just have a discussion about it. I'd love that. I would really love that. That would be really great. That'd be phenomenal. I have so many things to be thankful for in this situation. And the one thing that I'm most thankful for, to be honest with you, is the support of the people who watch this show. Like y'all don't know. Y'all don't know how much this means to me, that you guys support this show. You don't have to. You can do other things on your Sunday nights. I try to schedule it in a way where you're not missing any football games or anything like that. But you could be doing anything, but you're here. And I appreciate that so much. I really, really do, from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune in next week. All right, make sure you tune in next week. Let me get back to my script. I'm sorry, I'm so busy telling y'all thank you. I got away from my script. Make sure you tune in next week. In fact, not even next week. Join me this upcoming week on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing a special pre-election local celebrity spotlight with South Carolina House of Representatives candidate Marvin Pendarvis. He's running for District 113. He's a homeboy of mine. He's a mentor now with the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club. And I want to give him an opportunity to talk to you guys about what he's doing and his plans for District 113, so you guys can get out there and vote. Remember, the week after, November 7th, is Election Day. Make sure you get out and vote. Vote, take somebody else to the polls with you. And I'll talk more about it next week. Yeah. It's going to be a great show. I'm really excited about it. But in closing, do not be the one left out because you didn't tune in. And always remember that if a man doesn't stand for something, he will fall for anything. Now that's real talk. I will see you next week. Peace.